thing is from another world. My world.
I've killed things from other worlds before.
She with you?
I thought she was with you.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Wonder Woman video for the ending, the big twist, and how it connects to the other DC films, so just careful for spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. There's a giveaway going on right now for IMAX gift certificates. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video. So let's start with the Justice League connections first. So the beginning of this movie picks up just a couple months after the end of Batman v Superman. Batman has found the original version of this photo that was on Alexa's hard drive that shows her with her friends from World War I in that town right after they saved it, like right after the No Man's Land sequence. One of my favorite parts of the movie. Like after that you see her walk off, she didn't get a copy of the photo. There was that whole subplot about her trying to get the hard drive so that she could get the photo off of it so that Lex wouldn't find out who she really was. I wouldn't be surprised if when Batman finally cracks it, then gives it to her, that's the first time she's seeing it. So now that it's out of the hands of Lex, she's really just relieved that Batman found the original version. The note reads, "There must be an amazing story behind this photo. Maybe someday you'll tell it to me." The funny thing about that is that that day isn't that far off, because the end of the movie picks up just a little bit after the beginning. Like literally she walks up to the top of the Louvre and then flies off, literally flies off. So we'll talk about her powers in a second too. But you have to imagine that that moment's happening just a little bit before she walks into Bruce's garage as he's working on the Flying Fox. Like, where are the others, Bruce? And then they go recruit the Justice League. So the end of Batman v Superman, to the beginning and ends of Wonder Woman, those sort of bookends, to the beginning of Justice League, only a couple months have gone by. So just assume for now that the DC movies are moving forward in real time. So Superman will have been in the ground for about a year and a half. But the other big Justice League connection is Hippolyta's story about their origins, how they came to be. There was war, man fought each other. Zeus created us to bring peace. Then she tells the big story of how they were enslaved, how she fought for their liberation. Then they went to Themyscira. You notice in the Justice League trailer, there's a big action set piece where they're fighting the forces of Apocalypse. You spot a ton of Amazons flying around. So they're a little fuzzy about exact dates and when this was happening, but this is part of those ancient wars that Hippolyta talked about. Now in the Wonder Woman movie, it's a slightly simpler, more animated version, but there was a big fight with Darkseid's forces. They banished him from the Earth, but the mother boxes were left behind. The Amazons have one. They did not address it during the Wonder Woman movie. At least I didn't spot it at the screening that I went to. So let me know if you spotted a mother box in that big silo where they kept all their God-given weapons. But speaking of weapons, the God Killer sword is a total red herring as Ares explains to her, "You are the God Killer, the child that Zeus had with Hippolyta." So they lied to her about being a lump of clay, which is sort of a play on her origin story from the comics. When Hippolyta's telling young Wonder Woman, "I prayed to the god Zeus to give life to a lump of clay," that's sort of the original version of her origin story. The New 52 version is the one where she's the legit daughter of Zeus and Hippolyta. So if there was any confusion about that, they are saying that Wonder Woman in the DCEU is a legit god. It takes a god to kill a god, and you see how she unlocks her abilities as she learns to believe in herself. Ares starts putting the full court press on her and she starts hulking out. She holds a tank over her head for an extended period of time with no visible exertion. She flies and then she absorbs all that energy, the god energy that Ares is calling down, that lightning. It's a little bit different from regular lightning, and then fires it back at him, killing him. So if it's possible to kill a god, and it seems like it is because Ares says that it takes a god to kill a god, but they're very ambiguous about what happens to gods after they die. Do they just become pure energy? Is it like the comics with the new gods in the Forces of Apocalypse when their power just kind of gets sucked into someone else when they die? So that's all still open to wide speculation. But Wonder Woman has that comment during Batman v Superman where she says, "I've killed things that aren't from this earth." She's talking about Ares because she killed him during the Wonder Woman movie. She also flies at the end of the movie in sort of a mirror for the scene where she's taking down the church trying to get that sniper. Now they freeze frame on it, so you're like, wait a minute, what's happening here? But she is legit flying in this moment. So if there was any question, she probably can't fly quite as good as Superman, but still very, very good. But like you see Ares floating down from the sky in their fight, he can teleport around at will. She's probably almost as powerful as that because Hippolyta is obviously an Amazon, more powerful than a normal human, but that makes Wonder Woman more of a demigod, so she has most of the powers that gods do, but not quite the full extent of it. She couldn't just teleport herself across the earth, and Ares shows himself appearing as a spirit whispering in the ears of all the villains, telling them about formulas, about how to build weapons. She's not going to be doing that anytime soon, but it seems like she has every single ability that she does in the comics. Now, there have been a couple different ways they've expressed her powers, but just assume the most powerful version of Wonder Woman in the comics is how powerful she is in this movie. So I think I said it in my review video a couple days ago, but it makes it seem like she really held back in her fight against Doomsday, if she can Hulk out that crazy against Ares. During a lot of the villain monologuing, Ares talks about his history on the Earth. After he was struck down by Zeus in their final battle, he sort of lost the ability to influence the entire planet simultaneously. So like a god has power over the entire Earth, post-Ares seemed like he had most of his abilities in a more localized fashion, so he could influence people, but he'd have to be standing right next to them. So hopefully that explains a little bit about his power levels. Still very strong, but when he was at full power, he could influence things at a much more cosmic scale. So they basically just took the cosmic part out of the equation. She's told by Hippolyta that when she leaves Paradise Island that she can never come back, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Amazons pop back up again in one of the future Justice League films. Like they'll come out of hiding to help, and then they'll eventually go back. So I don't think it's permanent that Wonder Woman never goes back to Themyscira. But the whole idea of the end of the movie, her big speech, is about how she's going to protect the Earth because she believes in love. So it's not so much that she can't go back, it's that she doesn't want to go back because her mission isn't done. I've seen a couple comments on my review video about the final fate of Steve Trevor as well as her other friends. I think the idea is that most of them have died by old age now. Steve Trevor died when he blew up the plane full of the gas. So the photo, the watch, is sort of like that movie's version of the Peggy Carter scenes when Captain America is in present day. Like she's the link to Captain America's past, the only person who remembers him from that time. So that's kind of the same vibe you get when she stares at the watch, when she looks at the picture. It reminds her of those people that she loved of that time, in why she believes in making the world a better place and believes in love so much. So I'm not expecting to see any of those old characters pop back up, but Patty Jenkins, the director, and Gal Gadot have both been confirmed for a sequel if they decide to do it. There hasn't been any official word on when they're going to greenlight that, but I think it's a pretty done deal, so in the next couple of months you'll probably hear more about that. But they could set it during World War II, which is just a little bit after World War I, or they could do it some other time in the past. But there's still a lot of questions about what time period it would take place during. It's just that people love the World War I setting so much, and I think that works so well for her character that Warner Brothers is really open to the idea of doing another movie set in the past. So let me know what you guys thought about Wonder Woman. I'll do an Easter egg video next. That'll post sometime in the next couple of days, but there's some new Rick and Morty to post, there's some new Spider-Man Homecoming, so I'll try to get that stuff out as fast as possible. Congratulations to the latest giveaway winner, Rhett Bozung. Please private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. While you wait for everything, you can click here for my Wonder Woman review, and you can click here for brand new Flash Season 4. Thank you so much for watching. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.